Now, in the other video, I taught you how to add and subtract decimals, whether it's simply a whole number and we have to add a dot and zeros at the end, or if they're both decimals altogether. But what happens when you have to compare them? What happens when you are asked to compare something like that? Now, it is very easy to fall into the trap of doing this in your head, but I highly recommend you follow the instructions of, the same as adding and subtracting decimals. You do the same here. This is a whole number. It doesn't have decimals. So remember what I told you in the adding and subtract video. You add the period at the end, and you can add as many zeros as you like. So technically, 58 would be 58.0. All right? This number is 5.8, so if I line up the dots, it'd be 5.8. Now, it's very obvious to me. 58 is way bigger than 5.8 because I have 50. I have 5 in the tens column. This number is much bigger than that. So, 58 is greater than 5.8. What happens if you have a problem like this? 0.9 compared to 0.90. Now both of them have decimals, so line them up. This first number is 0.9. This is 0.90. Now you may be tempted to say that this number is bigger than that number because, or this number is bigger than that number because this one has an extra zero in it. But again, if it's an empty space, what can you do? You can always add a zero because zero means nothing. It's an empty space and we're trying to compare it. So now it's very obvious to you that these two numbers are exactly alike. So this decimal is exactly the same as that decimal. One last thing I want to go over with you are the symbols themselves. Now, when you read a book, you read from left to right, and that's the same with the math problem. You have to read it from left to right. With the symbol, how can you remember that this is the symbol for more than or greater than? Well, I am reading from this side to that side. And as I read, I'm reading more pages, more words, and that's how I remember that if I'm going this side, that's a more than symbol. And so the opposite side, if it's going towards the beginning, you're reading less pages and less words. So this symbol is less than. And obviously you have your equal to.